Hey everyone, so spring is very much not in the air, as you can probably see behind me. 1st of April and it is snowing like fuck here in Sweden. But thought it's about time we did a little update because there's been some moving around in the garage and the garage has got a new occupant. So let's have a look at what that is, shall we? So yeah, I bought myself a Nissan Pulsar gti-r. And before I have a look at it, we'll just do a little bit of a history lesson. For those who don't know, it's a rare car. I think they made about 10,000 of them back in the 90s. And it's from the late 80s when Nissan wanted to get into rallying. They decided to use this shell, this chassis, and enter rally basically with it. And they fitted the SR20 DET engine, which you can find in the 200SX. Great turbocharged engine, and they fitted it with a top mount intercooler and it didn't do very well. So very quickly after they'd made a load, they kind of swept it under the carpet and moved on to bigger and better things. Really unfortunate that happened and it didn't do very well because it's a really great concept. It has the same Tesla four-wheel drive system that you find in the R32 GTR, just not quite as intelligent, I believe. But very, very rare because yes, there's more of them than the Spider, but there's actually less of these in Sweden than there are Renault Spiders. So it's pretty cool. But you may have noticed also, if we have a look round, that I've already started doing stuff here. Talk you through that in a minute. There's no Evos. So the reason why there's no Evos is because the Pulsar was located at CustomCars in Vanersborg, and luckily I was able to sort of get it. I went to view it and the timing wasn't right, and I said to Robin, who owns CustomCars, sorry, the timing's not right. And then he kind of held on to it and the car had other ideas, and man mass later, here we are with the car. The Evos have gone now to the pit in Vanersborg to have all the work done, so they're going to have lots of parts swapped over between the two, I hope, and then they're going to be tuned, and then the black car is hopefully going to be sold. But yeah, it kind of worked out well because Robin did me a solid and he came and took the Evos to the pit, and because he had the Pulsar, he stuck the Pulsar on the trailer and dropped it off here. So that is why we have the garage all changed around. Right, let's have a look in more detail at this car, shall we? So not a great deal of information about it beyond what I found on a website, because the previous owner doesn't seem to want to give all the files over, which is a bit cheeky of him. But interior wise, pretty stock. It's another Japanese cave. All looking quite decent. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. Grady 60mm boost gauge there. It's got some god awful white naff dials in it, which I will probably have to keep. A really cool retro Nismo gear knob, and that's kind of about it on the interior. Really shitty Sony stereo that doesn't work, and a really naff little controller there that changes the colour, supposedly, of the dials. All very grim. But anyway, that's the interior. Let's have a look at the boot, shall we? Not a lot to show you in the boot, but I will show you it anyway. The car has, you can already see, I've started to do stuff. I've removed the rear panel, but the car has a 3-inch kind of race exhaust system, custom built, with 2 race cats, apparently. It's got a rear anti-roll bar kit from Whiteline. Probably can't see it underneath the car. Battery relocated into the boot, and that is about it, really, back here. I've already started mucking about, but more on that in a minute. Passenger side, again, nothing really to talk about here. It's all very stock looking. The car has a NIS tune, you probably can't see it under there, but under here is the ECU, and it's got a Blitz Access ECU, which is pretty cool. ECU, sorry. And NIS tune. Don't know that much about these cars yet, but NIS tune is apparently one of the sort of boards or something that you can fit to ECUs for this car that allows you to tune them. So it's got a NIS tune on it, and it's running 1 bar of boost. So anyway, let us have a look at the engine bay. So you can tell where the money has gone on this car, and it is up front. It's got BC, I think, or maybe not because they're green. Maybe it's Tane coilovers it's got on it. But it's got a bit of bling there. It's got a Tomei oil cap. That's probably worth about 900 quid on eBay. Not. K&N air filter. Lots of Samco hoses. I think that's a Nismo or Cusco front strut brace. And yeah, the engine has HKS 264 cams. It's got a fuel pressure regulator. It's got a HKS SSQV tucked away. It's got a T28 turbo. Again, information is scarce. Tubular manifold, stainless steel pipework. For those that don't know, you're looking at my face. Stainless steel pipework for the radiator and a Koyo radiator. Excuse me, that wasn't my arse, it was the garage door. And yeah, I think uprated injectors and a different clutch and then a bit more bling. And of course, it's got a nice big tasty front mount intercooler and the obligatory Nissan Laguna front lip. So that is kind of overview of the car. Oh yeah, I also forgot, it's got nice tasty Brembo 4-pot calipers up front, not sure what they're off, and 2-piece discs. So yeah, it's got like the beginnings of something pretty cool. Power wise, apparently it is running on pump gas, as they say in America and as I'm now saying in Sweden. So like 98.1 or whatever, it doesn't run on E85 like the other cars. It's running 282 wheel horsepower and 343 wheel Newton meters, apparently. So it goes quite well because it weighs about 1,200 kilos. Yeah, oh, one comedy thing that I've spotted was the overflow for the radiator goes into a really nice little, what would you call that? Like a juice bottle there. So that's something I need to fix. Yeah, I think I've captured everything. So what have I been doing already and what am I planning to do? So one of the first things I did when I got it was I removed about 500 kilos of matting out of the boot. I removed the very tired Nissan mats from inside the car. Here is our amazing bride covered parcel shelf and the plastic trim and the battery box. And then this little thing here is under the front grille, the bonnet vent on the car. So that did live sort of around here, but I got rid of that because I didn't think you needed it, and again, saves weight. And the amazing original number plate holder, which, oh, it's not in the bin, it's over there. Might be able to see it on the window bottom. Fresh as fuck, Stance Nation. That had to go straight away. So that's kind of where I've got up to. It's just been tidying things up, cleaning it, because it really needed a clean. It seemed like it not been cleaned in about 32 years, and it had spent its life living inside a tea bag with all the crap that came out of it. But the first thing I've been properly working on, apart from taking those bits out, is the rear panel here. So this sits on the car like this, in the back of the boot lid, and then your number plate goes in there. But the problem was that the Swedish number plates don't fit very well, so you could see the holes in the frame. So, excuse me, tripping over stuff. So I've basically started filling in with some resin the holes, so I'm going to sand them flat, and then I can fit my plate on it, look all tidy. So that's like the first job, I think, probably, that I'm going to do. But other than that, it's little things, like I bought a new centre console there. I've bought the covers for the sides of the footwells that hides the ECU. I've got new backlights here. I've got new front lights, new side lights. I've got a Blitz turbo timer. I've got a harness for the Blitz turbo timer, and I've got a few other bits. I've also managed to get myself a pretty cool front grille, which is different to this grille. It's completely open. So that is hopefully on the way today. So that's going to be a fairly soon job. And I have also managed already to win myself on eBay a Phoenix Power boot-lid spoiler, which is really, really rare and really, really cool. That's probably not going to go on the car straight away because it'll look out of place with no other kit. So what else am I going to be doing to it to kind of support that and other things? So plans are to fit some TE37 wheels in 17-inch. These are 16s. I need to measure them up, make sure I get the right offset. I want to obviously tidy this up here. I want to make a carbon cover here for the plugs. This original factory, I think, what do you call it, catch can, that has seen better days and is basically falling to pieces. So I'm going to get rid of that and fit one like on the Evo. And then it's going to be replacing the pipe work, the silicon, with black. And it's going to be probably replacing the filter with a Blitz SUS. And I'm hoping not do too much to the performance of it, just kind of refresh things that are there. I am going to, in the boot, I am going to replace the battery with a deadweight Tug 500, like in the Evo. So that'll look a lot smarter. And then the plan is to take out the rear seats and take out the carpet. And then on the interior, I'm going to replace the door cards with the Rallytech carbon door cards. I've already spoke to them about that. I'm going to get rid of the radio and fit, sorry, it's a cave again. Get rid of the radio and I'm going to fit a switch panel like in the Evo, because I love that, having flick switches and a start button. Going to replace the steering wheel with a Sparko like I always do. Sort out that gauge on the A-pillar in the fake carbon surround that it's in and kind of get a better one. And just sort of general weight saving, and obviously fit some different seats. Not decided what seats yet, but going to fit some anyway. So those are like the basic plans, shall we say. On to the more kind of silly plans. So the more silly plans, which I am already kind of investigating, are carbon bonnet from Night Racer in the UK, carbon boot lid from Night Racer in the UK, Lexan windows from Plastic Performance in the UK, and the crazy thing that I'm planning to do is, I'll put a picture up in this video so you can see what I'm kind of trying to emulate, is I'm trying to get a wide arch kit for the car because they look immense with wide arches. And the paintwork needs doing anyway, so it's probably going to cost about the same amount of money to wide arch it and then get it painted than just get it repaired, essentially. So yeah, wide arches, and as you've probably seen in the picture, I want to get an R34 front bumper and R34 body kit and butcher it, which should be fun, to hopefully fit the car. And then yeah, that is kind of that's the initial plans there. Not a lot I've got up to yet, as you can tell. So right at the start of the journey, and it will probably change over time. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed this little kind of intro to what I've bought and an update on the Evos and the garage in general. Can't drive the cars because of the weather, so might as well just be tinkering around. So yeah, anyway, on to the next video, which is most likely, depending on when you watch it, going to be me doing the rear lights and front lights, I think, on this car.